Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the rest of the watches I'm going to show you are throwbacks, but like not keepers. I've already shown you the best ones I found. But just in case you're looking at these on Amazon and want to know my impressions, I'm going to keep going. This is this model number is F as in Frank 201WA. I wonder if the F stands for female. I don't know. It seems like maybe their female watches start with L. I'm not sure. But anyway, I mean, I guess it doesn't look. It doesn't look feminine, but just for some reason, it's a little bit too small. And hey, let's see. I'll try to show you. Do the traditional pose that you see on 5,000 YouTube videos, but it's just a little, it's not, like maybe it's designed for like a youth model maybe. I haven't even worn it because it's so small, but it is thin. Excuse me. It does have a countdown, which I just found out. So that is I use the countdown feature a lot, and that's one reason why I like to wear digital watches even though I have a phone in my pocket. And so, like the model I mentioned earlier is really sharp, really crisp display, but doesn't have countdown. So, I mean, this little watch, I guess if I was covered up with a short sleeve anyway, I would still use it. I haven't thrown it away like I have a bunch of other watches. But it's, the band is wimpy. It's just kind of got a little wimpy band on it. So, I mean, this is just an average watch. And it is thin and it is super light, but just a little, like this, like I say, this to me feels like a youth watch or even a woman's watch. Alright, this watch is W96H, module 3233. This watch is big enough to be a man's watch. It's a little bit thinner than, this fits under most of my shirts, so it definitely qualifies for that. And something about the design, it slides under shirts even. Excuse me for a minute. This was, excuse me, W800M, and this was the one I was recommending to you because it's just that classic design and the display is so sharp. And this fits under most of my sleeves. Some of the tighter sleeves though, it doesn't, and this one does, so it's even slimmer. Like my favorite one, this one also has a very crisp and sharp display. It's, again, it's not e-ink, but the LCD display is just so much sharper than the ones that, we bought in the 80s. In fact, here, let me do a comparison here. Alright, this is F201WA. This is the one I just did. And it's sharp, but I don't know if you can tell the difference, but that new display is just, I don't know, sharp and crisp. And I guess since I've had an iPhone, I have an appreciation for that. But this watch, even though it's even slimmer and fits under more shirts, is not my favorite because, look, anybody with a thick wrist size isn't going to be able to wear that. The band is really small. And that's probably not a coincidence, the reason why the watch fits under a lot of shirt sleeves. But not only is it, kind of thin, it just doesn't feel right on your wrist. It just feels sketchy. And I don't know how to describe it other than that, but other reviewers have made similar comments. So unless you have a really small wrist or really tight cuff sleeves, I would pass on this one. Okay, this is the only anti-digital we're going to do. And the reason why I don't do analog, even in the cheap watches, I cannot stand to have to set the date. And every analog watch I've ever owned that looks nice, the battery goes out way more frequently than digital watches. And then I want to, you know, when I come in and there's cobwebs in the brain on Monday morning, and I'm in my job, I have to do a lot of paperwork, and I just want to look down at the date and be confident that the date's right. So even if I was wearing an analog watch, I really like to have that digital window that shows the date. And this watch I wore for years, even though I own nicer watches. It's thin, so it did fit under my cuff sleeves. The model number is AW-49H. AW-49H. I don't know if they still make this watch. It's module 3321. I actually owned multiple variations of this, and Casio makes watches that has like this chrome outside the bezel. In fact, if you do a search for this this G-Shock that I originally showed you, the 56056-A, or 056A, excuse me, the one that you frequently see has like all this chrome business going on here. I'm not sure what that's about, but anyway, I don't like that because, I mean, if you're going to get stainless steel, get stainless steel. But having the plastic, I don't like it when Casio does that. But another reason why I don't like anti-digital watches is if they have a second hand, they tick. And I do not want to hear the ticking. So if I'm in my bedroom late at night and the watch is on my nightstand, I do not want to hear any ticking. This does not have a second hand, so you don't hear it tick. So, I mean, this is a good watch if this is what you're looking for. Does not have a countdown, and I've just found myself using the countdown more and more often. That's something once you get used to using, you can become reliant on it. And so pretty much if the watch doesn't have a countdown, I'm not wearing it anymore. Okay, this is the thinnest Casio of all. It is the F-91W. I can't remember what it cost, but it was like next to nothing. And I mean, it's a surprisingly good quality watch for what you pay for it, which is nothing. But by far, this is the lowest watch on my list. Men should not be considering this watch. It barely fits on my wrist. I mean, that's on there a little bit too tight, and I don't have very much band left to loosen it. It does not have, in my opinion, another pet peeve of mine with Casio watches is the light. If you're right-handed and you're wearing the watch on your left, the light should be on the top right button, period. If it has anything other than the light on the top right button, then Casio's messed up. Now, if they want to make a left-handed version, that's acceptable. But like there's a G-Shock 5600 that I would love to own. Not going to do it because the light button is in the wrong place. And I remember I used to own a Casio watch that had the button not where I was used to it, and I would look for the light, and then by the time I found the light, I had pressed stuff to set the watch. this one would kind of be the same way. So I could see well, it doesn't have a light, but the way you set, it doesn't have its own adjust button. You scroll through. I hate that. I really hate that. I like having uniformity so that you don't have to learn the watch when you get a new watch. So this is super thin. This is like if you want to buy your kid a watch that is instead of buying them like a Power Rangers watch or something, you want to buy them a watch. This is a good one. Or maybe if you, that's about it. I mean, that's the only way I can think of this. It's because this was just an experiment lost. All right, so that's all the quest for thin digital watches. So the G-Shock 56 you can't buy anymore. There is let's see, the AE 1200. I'll be recording another video on this. And there is the W800H, which is Bo's top choice. So if you're out looking at all the digital watches on Amazon, hopefully I've saved you some grief by testing them all for you already.